Some restaurants aren't failing because of bad food or bad service. They're failing while getting more orders than ever, because the system bringing them customers is also draining their profits. Delivery apps look like growth, but for many restaurants, they've become something very different. If you've ever ordered food through an app, the experience feels simple and frictionless. You open your phone, scroll through options, and pick what you want in seconds. From the outside, it looks like the app is just a middleman, connecting hungry customers with local restaurants. But that assumption misses something important, because the app isn't just facilitating the transaction, it's controlling it. And the real problem isn't just the fees, it's what those fees allow the app to control. At the center of this system is something most customers never see: the fee structure. Every time an order is placed, a significant portion of that money never reaches the restaurant. Depending on the platform and visibility level, that cut can be 20, 25, even 30% or more. In some cases, restaurants lose close to a third of every order before covering a single cost. So a $20 order doesn't mean $20 in revenue, it might mean 14 or less, and that's before paying for ingredients, labor, rent, and everything else required to stay open. Imagine a small restaurant getting a steady stream of delivery orders throughout the night. On the surface, it looks like everything is working. Tickets are printing, food is going out, the kitchen is busy. But behind the scenes, each of those orders is already taking a hit before it even reaches the restaurant. By the time the food is made, packaged, and sent out, the profit is either razor thin or gone entirely. So the restaurant isn't really scaling with demand, it's just moving more volume through a system that takes a cut every time. Now, here's where it starts to break. Restaurants don't operate with massive profit margins in the first place. Most are already working with very thin margins. In many cases, single digits. So losing 20 to 30% of every order isn't just a fee. It can completely erase the profit. Or worse, turn what looks like a successful sale into a loss. The numbers stop working, even when the orders keep coming in. So why don't restaurants just raise their prices to compensate? That seems like the obvious solution, and some of them try. But that creates a new problem, because inside the app, they're not competing in isolation. They're sitting next to dozens, sometimes hundreds of other options, all competing for attention, all trying to look like the best deal. If one restaurant raises prices too much, customers just scroll past. And this is where the system becomes more aggressive, because visibility on these apps isn't evenly distributed. Restaurants can pay to be promoted, to show up higher, to be seen first. Which means the businesses that are already losing their profit margin are now pressured to spend even more just to stay visible. And the ones that don't slowly disappear from the top of the feed. But that's only part of the story, because now the app isn't just taking a percentage of each order. It's influencing which restaurants even get a chance to compete. The more you pay, the more exposure you get, and the less you pay, the harder it becomes to be seen at all. And at that point, you're not just paying for delivery, you're paying for access. Access to customers, access to visibility, access to demand itself. And once a restaurant is inside that system, it becomes very difficult to step away, because customer behavior has already changed. Instead of thinking, I want food from this specific place, people think, I'll just open the app and see what looks good. And that shift changes everything, because now the relationship isn't between the restaurant and the customer anymore. It's between the app and the customer. So even if a restaurant builds popularity inside the platform, they don't actually own that audience. They're borrowing it. They're renting attention, one order at a time. And every successful transaction reinforces that dependency. But here's where it shifts from a useful tool into something the restaurant can't escape. Because now the restaurant is caught in a cycle. They need the app for volume, but the app reduces their margins. So they rely on more orders to make up for less profit per order, which means more dependence, more fees, more pressure to stay inside the system. And over time, that cycle becomes harder to escape. Some restaurants try to break out of it. They include flyers in delivery bags, push customers toward direct ordering, offer discounts outside the app. But it's difficult because convenience almost always wins. The app is already installed, already familiar, already one tap away. And this creates a strange outcome, one that doesn't make sense at first. Orders increase, but profits don't. Revenue grows, but margins shrink. On paper, it looks like growth, but the economics tell a different story. In some cases, restaurants report making less money on delivery orders than if the customer had never ordered at all. And this is the part most people never see, because everything still appears to be working. Food is being delivered, customers are satisfied, so the system looks efficient. But underneath, the economics are shifting. Because the platform isn't designed to make restaurants profitable, it's designed to keep orders flowing through the system. These platforms process billions in orders every year, which means even small cuts per order scale into massive revenue. And that creates a misalignment. The restaurant needs profit to survive. The platform needs volume to scale. And those two goals don't always align. So over time, the system pushes restaurants into a difficult position. Stay inside the platform and accept lower margins, or step away and lose access to a massive customer base. For some businesses, the trade-off works. For others, it slowly erodes them. And this is where the structure becomes clear, because the app doesn't need every restaurant to succeed. It just needs enough of them to keep the system running. New restaurants replace struggling ones, fresh options appear. The marketplace continues to expand. From the platform's perspective, the system is working perfectly. But for individual restaurants, the outcome can look very different because they're not operating on equal terms. They're operating inside a system they don't control. And once that control shifts, it's difficult to take it back. Because customer behavior has already adapted, expectations have already changed. Convenience has already been built into the experience. So the restaurant isn't just competing with other restaurants anymore, it's competing with the platform itself. And that's the part most people miss. The big reveal isn't just about fees. The delivery apps changed who owns the customer relationship. Once that happens, everything else follows. Pricing power weakens, margins compress, dependence increases. And this isn't just about food delivery. It's about what happens when a middle layer becomes the marketplace. When access to customers is controlled by a platform, the rules change. Because once the platform owns the customer, the restaurant is no longer in control, and everything else follows from that.